Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Oh, sorry. Get the microphone all set up correctly. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Duke CT, and I'm back here in this crazy World Series. And by the way, the Nationals are down 2-0. But hey, it's still a game, and you know what? They still can climb out. All I ask of them is the bats can wake up. That's all you know. But yeah. But you know what? Like I said, win or lose, I'm happy for the Nats. And you know what? That's going to be, hey, they did really good stuff. So hey, here's hoping. Here's hoping that they can pull it out tonight. If not, like I said, I'm happy either way. This is so nervous, man. Even though the umpires are screwing the Nats, but yeah. All right, so let's get into what we're going to talk about right now. Uh, well, quite honestly, gaming. You know, it's amazing how what the past couple of weeks have shown. Games. Just completely they don't work and such. It's funny how this stuff is now natural. It seems to be just we just take care. I mean, for example, these big games. Last week you had Call of Duty Modern Warfare had issues. The issues. The first thing out of the gate is that the online services they were down. The online servers were down. It says that they couldn't even do anything. They had two options after this. It says right here in the dot esports. Put the link in the description. It says right here. After a few seconds, you then receive another message that says connection failed and unable to access online services. You have two options after this. You can either go hit retry or to try connecting to online services again, or you can hit go offline to access campaign, local multiplayer, or local co-op. And it says that it's unclear why the servers that were down at that point. They don't know why. And they said the Infinity War, a couple days later, I think it was just days later, they said everything's up. Um, I sit here and I'm like, what just happened here? Why is this a thing? This should have been for people who, um, for people who do this, who are building these games for a lot of people who's like they love this game. Remember, you hate the COD franchise, I love it. This stuff is continuing to happen. It is continuing to happen over and over and over again. And that is a disturbing. This stuff here, it's a game that is unfinished. These games are unfinished, and yet they're being sold to the masses. You know, it just seems like every time look at these modern games, you have this issue, and then you look at another example, WWE 2K20, and a base hit by the Astros, and they got they have Corbin there, which he's been struggling throughout the postseason. Then again, Sanchez was struggling too, but then again, the Astros are great. They set up the team to be great for a longest time. So yeah, the when you look at all of what's going on, of you know 2K20, the glitches of the game, and just everything that does look wrong does. It's just and the graphics themselves look terrible. It looks like a PS2 game. That's how bad it is. And don't mention the story and some of the voice acting is that I don't know. It's just too wacky and everything, and it's fine if you want to do craziness. Even though when I look at the story, every time I look at it, it seems like like the person who wrote this. Look at the B-roll of Lucha Underground, snorted all of the cocaine and said, "Here you go. Here's the WE 2K story mode. Now it's 2 strikes, Corbin. Okay, let's see if we can do something there. But yeah, it's just these games are full price and better. They have like DLC and everything. It's just looks broken. I mean, there's crashes, ample lag, so much lag, and this is offline too. Offline lag. Just the animations are terrible. And by the way, all the features and such, which is allow players to edit match rules during online play. Again, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by this. It's like every year these games take away more and more features. Every year you have these type of things happening. Oh, what's up, Magic? How you doing? Guest too. I'll be having a good time. But yeah, I hope you feel what I feel right now. It's just every single time. A Magic from the Such a Studio forums. And it's out. Let's see. That's the one out to Corbin. So yeah, one out for the Nationals. It's bottom of the sixth. Still time, people. Still time. Who knows? But anyway, um, get back to the point. These games are just so. Uh, you look at them and you just wonder. Do they just even? It just seems like this. Look at the last year's build and just slap things on. And it's been getting worse for 2K series. Heck, I haven't bought a 2K game in like 10 years. Like 2K 9, 10 years. Last time I got was 2K11, and that's it. And it's just look and just a terrible just. And by the way, here's the Reddit PS4 comments. I know Reddit has their issues, but here it is, all of it. Oh, how do I feel about Call of Duty? I think it's a decent game. And it's the end of the sixth. I just missed it. And now let's see if maybe we can do something. Nationals can do something. Anyway, Call of Duty. It's it's what it is. First person shooter. I played all the 3 Modern Warfares. I think Modern Warfare 2 was good. But I think the first one to me was the best one, and it had a really good statement of nuclear bomb. Just they exploded and see how it was. I'm like, there it is. That's how you do art and games and that stuff. And amazing how something like Activision can pull that off. But then you look like Call of Duty. Nowadays, it just became a meme in itself. And if no one cares about the multiplayer, no one cares about the anything else about online, which is fine. Okay, if people like the online stuff, but yet when they did the Modern Warfare, the reboot, they had their online stuff didn't work. The main bread and butter, it didn't work. I don't know what happens. I don't know how this happens in these games and such. And there's other stuff here. And by the way, we go back to 2K20. Here it is. All the list issues found in the first hours released here. From Reddit and R Games for PS4 and such like that. So from the Reddit PS4 board, put the link in the description. It says, quote, I don't know, this might be true. So perhaps, take the grain of salt. But yeah, here it is. It says every online game begins with a minute of lag, and the game is almost a slideshow of 5 frames a second. In online tag matches, you get matched with one of your opponents as your partner instead of whatever was shown on your team in the online lobby. Teams in the lobby are decided by the order you join. Player 1 and player 2 versus player 3 and player 4. But the actual match is player 1 and player 3 versus player 2 and player 4. Wow, I don't know how they made that messed up. There's now a countdown once the multi-level party is filled, and you only have a limited time to pick your character. It isn't very long, so you have to basically decide before joining who you want to play. That's you're trying to coordinate teams. And there are claims that the day one patch isn't out yet, despite the game being released for around 6 hours as of writing. They removed the following features from online: entrances, my career arenas, user created arenas, the ability to edit match rules using custom matches you saved. Wow. The game can crash if you try to import custom attires or wrestlers. Entrance music can play for the entire match. In the first link The music kept playing the entire time. The link's there. You can watch it. There. Music incorrectly labeled. Here, Jeff Hardy's here is listed as Evolution. And by the way, he's got receipts too, so that's good. Always have. And by the way, if you ever make these things, ladies and gentlemen, it's best to have links and pictures, video, and all this stuff to compound. Like say, here's the proof. And let's see, button prompts not appearing properly. The comment button just doesn't show when you're about to get hit. The game doesn't think you own the DLC characters when you try to download community creations for that character. Graphics aren't as impressive, with some wrestlers looking much worse than the previous versions. Also, not resembling the actual wrestler that well. Yeah, it looks terrible. And there's more stuff here. And it's sad how this stuff is. It's sad how gaming has got there. How gaming has become this whole mess of like. I know I'm not the first one to talk about this subject. I know I'm not going to be the last. But what is going on here when you don't have any finished products anymore? This is the stuff I don't want to buy newer games. I'll wait a couple weeks. What's the point? What's the point of buying any new game? What's the point to buy a new game if this is going to be the new normal? What's the point of actually buying a brand new this, a brand new that? Why? Why should I buy any games like this? And then I'm not even getting the stuff like, for example, Fallout 76. Look what happened with Fallout 76. I mean, the entire game, and it was buggy, broken, completely unplayable mess. It was horrible. It was, and not only that, it cheated its customers. It basically lied to the customers, trying to do all. I'm like, and I sit here and I look at this, and I'm like, what's going on here? How did this happen? Literally, how did this happen? How did we get here? How did we get to this point when you have games get to this point of level of not even caring anymore? How did the previous generations just get worse and worse and worse? How did we get here? It was a train wreck and it was glorious. I know it was. And that was the first out. Adam Eden's first out. One out in the top of the seventh. And by the way, if you're listening to the this is the Game 7 of the World Series, by the way, if you're watching and such. Houston's up 2-0, and it's now down to Rendon and Juan Soto. And the last, if they could just get these guys out. Hopefully they don't get those guys out and they get at least some good hits. That's all I ask. But anyway, like I said, proud of them, regardless of win or losses. But yeah, it looks just games have become so, and it's become back to the point. Video games used to be complete, used to be 100% complete, functional products. I mean, the only time you see a functional, complete product is probably an indie game or a Nintendo game, and even then, that's Contra Blast Points, which doesn't look at that looked bad in E3, and I'm like, man, no, man, oh yeah, oh, Rendon, home run, there you go, clap, there it is. That's always keep doing. They keep finding ways. They keep finding ways. Game on. All right. So, all right, back to the point of my and more. So that was a nice happy thing. Let's go back to the pressing part of video games. All right, there, boys and girls. Video games are terrible. Yay. And then compound that to, like I said, File 76 and just being terrible. What about all the other stuff that, not just Bethesda? What about EA? Anthem? It was a complete and total crapshoot from development to what development from making it to now. It's same thing with anything BioWare related, and it sucks because BioWare used to be great, and now this, and then Not only that, you look at Battlefront 2, mediocre story, and not only that, mediocre story, but also just just this gameplay is stuff like that. The gameplay that forces you to grind out, trying to get these Darth Vader and everything, and even better, even better, ladies and gentlemen, you had the whole microtransactions and all this stuff about Battlefront 2, all of that. It just sours people. It sours people away from the medium. I'm surprised people just stop buying new games. They just say, you know what, every time this next gen game or a big game comes out, I'm like, I'm not buying it. Or just, they just don't show up and such. And it is. The sales has, matched it. People are right, maybe they've bought it, but they bought it, but they stopped playing it or they traded it in. I mean, you look at these things, you're just like, they're not complete pieces. And even worse, you had to wait, like, for example, No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky took how long? How long to get complete? Like 4 or 5 years? I wonder how many people left and stopped playing the game, stopped playing it, and moved on. And so those on base. That's good. All right. But yeah, it gets to that point, ladies and gentlemen, of people are just going to move on. They're moving on. And I hate this because there's so much potential in games and they can do, but these developers and such taking these great ideas and such. I mean, Star Wars, Battlefront, that is an easy sell. And EA somehow managed to screw it up and make it a controversial thing. It's so controversial now that microtransactions are being put in Congress and governments around the world. And then EA has to go up there saying they're not loop out, they're surprise mechanics, which is amazing. It is amazing how that works. Huh? That's amazing. Oh, thank you, Magic. Says, talking of EA, even The Sims 4 on its initial release back in 2014 was a misstable feature that have been part. Yeah, they take out features. Of course, that's what they do. Sims, they take away stuff and don't even add things in. They just say we'll need more for graphics or anything else. That's what I hate about games and sequels. I mean, they took things out that people liked about The Sims, and then we've added them back for DLC and content. I'm like, you take away stuff, for example, like toddlers and even like Sim 1 and Ghost and Pool, all that stuff that wasn't The Sims 1 and such. And instead of keeping those things in the game, you just kick them out. And again, this is why people just feel this. I feel disheartened. And I don't begrudge anyone who looks at games and say, you know what? I'm going to probably wait until the collector's edition. And that's what I did. That's what I did for Watch Dogs 2. I waited for the collector's edition. When on Steam. I wait until, like, say, with Montpellier 3. I wait until the collector's editions. And if I can't get the collector's edition and such, I'll wait till, for example, Dragon Ball FighterZ. Really fun game. I liked it. But, I sat there and waited till the price went down. The Ultimate Edition cost $37. I said, hey, got that. Most of the DLC characters. Boom. And that's sort of, and I'm happy with that. And then you have this stuff. You have these game companies are just taking away stuff that were already in the games. I look and I just feel so frustrated because they have unlimited chances, unlimited worlds, all these things, and yet they limit themselves. They cut things back. They make it seem to be. You make it just, and I hate that. I hate the fact they have to do it. I hate the fact they have it. Holy crap! Howie Kendrick just hit a 2-run home run. Oh gosh, man. 3-2. Oh my goodness, the Nationals are up 3-2. Oh, yes. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Anyway, I had to tell my mom how the Nationals are doing. But yeah, it was a banger. It just hit the foul pole. That was beautiful. Gosh, and that's just they have no quit in them. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead here. I know. Oh yeah, Magic. It's back to the point of depressing things again. We're getting back to depressing things, ladies and gentlemen. Happiness is the World Series seeing the Nationals win. Depressing is the state of modern games. I don't even get into sports games. I mean, that's a whole another beast entirely. Year of releases and cut content. Madden anyone? Ugh. But yeah, it's a life simulator. Yes, The Sims is a life simulator. It's just, they can't seem to get it. They don't get it. And it's like they never got it. They never, ever got it, you know? One time, I just want, ladies and gentlemen, is that game companies, and not just Nintendo, because I feel, once again, Nintendo is probably the only ones that get it. They actually release full game. I shudder to think what Smash Brothers would have been if it was actually released by Microsoft or Sony or even EA. Could you imagine Super Smash Brothers Ultimate under EA? Just picture that in your mind. And the base hit. Thank you, Cabrera. But yeah, I'm like, it's just that is that games and such. I mean, imagine EA version of Smash Brothers Ultimate. It would be even worse. There wouldn't be as many characters. Half of them would be locked by microtransactions. The other half would be full-on DLC. But you have to play microtransactions for like bits and pieces and such. It would be even worse than what that is to me scary. That to me is nightmarish. But yeah, it's just this frustrating thing that video games have this. They could be something better, and these companies could do that. They have done it. They have done these things, and yet they continue to fail. That's why I don't have any feelings about the next Star Wars game. Which, by the way, if you're counting for the consoles, EA has a Star Wars license. How many of them? How many Star Wars games they actually released? 3. Meanwhile, when there was in LucasArts and everything else, they had multiple games, multiple genres, and things. Some worked out, some didn't, but it was fun. It was exciting to play. I mean, I would want to see a Rogue Squadron game. I thought at least EA would have something like that, but no Battlefront microtransactions. Oh, we have a single-player Star Wars game with the blandest of a bland dude from a Star Wars game with the protagonist who's the Joker at Gotham. Yeah, because and he's basically melon. He's like he plays a Jedi, so he can't be wacky and crazy like he was on the show. So you just took the one thing that I would like to see from him. Oh gosh, even when you think you're doing right, you do wrong, EA. Just like they're like, we need stars instead of actually finding good voice actors. Hey, people, no, you can get a high-selling game and still have decent voice actors, really good voice actors that won't cost you. You don't need movie stars or TV stars or something like that. But I'm just, I'm just tired of this, man. I'm tired. I'm tired of these game the game industry. That's just is that is so ah you know every single time, every time. They just can't seem to, I'm just sitting here every time seeing this, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating and sad that you see the Yeah, yeah, exactly. And Nintendo can be relied on. They have a higher, you know, they have a higher, like, the percentage and such when they don't screw up with their main characters and such. I mean, Metroid excluded. Even then, at least Other M was actually a pretty fun game at the end of the day. I mean, most of these most of them are not actually. I'm just like, it's just frustrating to see that there are other and such. All I ask is, it's not too much to ask not to have a competent game structure, not just for Nintendo, but all three consoles, including PC, have developers that say, okay, let's make a good game. I mean, The Outer Worlds, oh, that's great. That's one. And that's how sad it is. It's just, even though it's like only, like, well, it still has some issues, but at the end of the day, you don't have like microtransactions. It's like we've gone to the point. Look how it is. The whole saying, the bigotry of low expectations, and I feel that's what's happening. It's like that's what it is. It is. It's like we just like, well, at least it's this. At least we take this instead of actually something great or something good. We should expect higher for a game industry. We should expect higher. Why can't we expect higher, ladies and gentlemen? Why can't we expect something, not just for the industry? I want games. I don't want stuff like, oh, The Last is going to be great. Nope. We have to wait another year. By the way, the only game that came out on PS4 that was worth a damn and still is worth a damn is Spider-Man. And that's it. I'm just pissed. You can tell about this. I'm watching the Nats and they're leading 3-2. I should be happy, and I am happy. But when I look at the game industry, it makes me frustrated and upset. You just are amazed how they can screw things up. Well, that was an interesting fireball, but yeah, I'm just I'm just tired of this. I'm just plain tired of this. But that's just my personal opinion. I want to hear yours. Are you sick of the industry? Are you frustrated with the industry? Because if you're not, you think this is great for you, all right, you know what? Hey, that's fine too. Persona 5. Okay, all right, okay, Persona 5. But you know what? I haven't played Persona 5 yet. I don't have a PS4, but if Persona 5 and such like that, but yeah, there's some good stuff out there, but it's it's just it is the exception, not the rule. It is the exception, not the rule when it comes. When it comes to games. I just sit there. I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen when I hear a new IP? I'm like, okay, how are they gonna screw this up this time? How are they gonna screw it up? What's gonna like? That's when the major. I'm like, okay, what are you gonna do to screw this up? What are you gonna do to screw this up? Now I'm coughing. Talk about gaming is just killing me. It's killing me, man. It's legitimately killing me. Oh gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. It's killing me. Gosh, but yeah, Japan is, and I'll say there's some American stuff there too. There is at least some indie games as well. There are some indie games that can be relied upon. Heck, I just saw AEW. It's shout outing Undertale. That's made from American. That was pretty much a copy of they did a love letter to Earthbound. But yeah, Japanese screws up too. They're only human after all. But yeah, it's just when you look at games, I just see frustration. It's just there's a reason why I stream like the old stuff, stuff from the Xbox when I finally got the chance to. When I finally got the chance to, and I stream old stuff. Like, well, why? I do stream new stuff, but that's only for Nintendo. Because at least I know at the end of the day, it's going to be so at least like a halfway, like at least a good product. That's what I have. That's all I ask. A good product. But we don't get that. But yeah. But yeah, and it looks like it is the top of the eighth now. Looks like they're Nats are in the lead. And they got the people up there. Now it's all you gonna let's see what's gonna happen now. But anyway. But yeah, I'm frustrated. And I hope it gets better, but I don't know if it is. I don't know. I'm not out of steam here. I want to get back to the game. But you know what? This is a good podcast to talk, get into. Also, next week we're gonna have a special guest coming in. Talk some wrestling. Oh yeah, some wrestling and such. I mean, I got some stuff I gotta catch up on. YouTuber Sean James is gonna be in the lounge, so we're gonna be talking about that stuff for talking about pro wrestling, all the type of good stuff next week. Hopefully, and all that good stuff. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Dukect Lounge. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being here. This is Dukect here. Peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all. Yeah, Magic. So the only time I came close to the first one you're talking about is with Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon. Oh, that's Pokemon for you. But well, eventually I'll talk about how Pokemon is if I ever get around playing it. I'm still, I'm not even into I didn't get out of Gen 2, so I'm totally lost on that. All right, but anyway, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for Magic. Thanks for y'all for listening. It's Dukect here. Peace, love. See y'all when I see y'all later.